You see it on a teacher's desk, baked into your favorite American dessert, and even recommended by doctors for daily consumption. It's the humble apple, a fruit that has come to symbolize autumn itself, conjuring memories of crisp afternoons spent apple picking, steaming mugs of cider, and cinnamon-dusted apple donuts. But the landscape of the apple has changed over the years. For a long time, one variety ruled the shelves thanks to its shiny red skin, durability, and long shelf life. Enough selling points to overshadow the fact that its flavor was often bland, mealy, and lifeless. Then came an apple that redefined what an apple could be, with an explosive crunch and a sweetness so vivid and juicy it stopped people in their tracks. Its popularity skyrocketed, with eager customers gladly paying $4 a pound, a steep premium over the usual $1.50 for the perfect bite. This apple not only changed how we taste apples, it changed the apple industry itself. It inspired fandom among fruit lovers, converted lifelong apple skeptics, and gave farmers a few gray hairs with its demanding, high-maintenance growing needs. And to thank for it, we have one man and his very tired tongue. And that's why this week's On Brand is on the Honeycrisp Apple.
We're all jazzed up, nearly having a cow. You want your favorite show, and it's on right now. It's on brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa. I'm Jon.
I'm Marisa.
Okay. We're doing a fruit. We've turned into the Doughboys.
The Doughboys. I've never done apples.
They've done carrots. That's how we got a lot of our listeners.
And the Headgum Studios was like nearly attacked by pitchfork-wielding dorks.
Apples. I love it. It's fall. We're done with the death, the macabre. We are ready for a crunchy, sweet treat. Mm-hmm. Who doesn't love a Honeycrisp apple? I thought you were going to do the other one. There's the Cosmic Crisp.
We'll talk about the Cosmic Crisp.
That was a hot one in the last couple years.
Sure. Are you an apple man, Jon? You ever snacking on an apple?
I like to always have an apple. I don't always get around
have
to
an
eat
apple,
them.
like on your person?
Like I'll usually, when I'm at the Trader Joe's, I'll pick up an apple. Mm-hmm. I like to have an apple in my bag. A lot of apples go through a cycle and wilt and get linty, and I don't get around to them. But
I mean, a loose apple rattling around in your purse.
Yeah, it's not the best. But I do, if I get an apple, it's usually a Honeycrisp. I have Honeycrisp candles. I'm a classic apple muncher. My dad would sit with his little pocket knife and basically whittle his apples away.
That is such like a grandpa thing to do, is to cut an apple, no cutting board, just blade straight to thumb.
Blade straight to thumb, yeah. It would always end on the thumb, and then he would hand you that slice with the knife in his thumb. Mm-hmm. Very cute. But yeah, okay, I can't wait.
You never had braces.
No.
Oh, good luck trying to munch into an apple with braces.
Yeah.
I popped off my braces so frequently that, like, I think my mom at some point told me, like, how much it cost to get them re-glued on. Because, like, they're, like, glued. The little brackets are glued to your teeth.
I guess. I thought they were wired. With glue was a little support, but, wires were doing the heavy lifting.
Sure. I'd say the glue is doing the heavy lifting because the little bracket is glued to your tooth and then the wire is threaded through every bracket. And I was constantly popping off my braces because I'd never followed the rules. They would say, don't bite into apples, no caramel, sticky taffy, no gum, no popcorn.
And that's all you had.
That's all I ate.
You're chewing on gravel,
10
eating tar.
Yes.
I was lucky when I was young. I had really lovely teeth. We had sealants put on our teeth, which I don't know if they still do that.
It's probably illegal now.
Now it's probably illegal, but I remember we had sealants where they like cover your teeth in a thing that made it even harder to get cavities.
Yeah.
And then as an adult...
They paved over the potholes in your mouth.
Basically.
That's what we need for the potholes on the bridge.
Hello, sharks. We need some tooth sealant. Find a 70-year-old dentist. See what he has in his garage.
I'm going to hang out by the dumpster of the dentist's office, see if they're getting rid of any expired sealant.
Then as I got older, I became a soda drinker, a smoker,
sure.
And now my teeth are racked. This side, this side you can't see it. It's literally like a jack-o'-lantern. Like I can't chew them. I mean, I can, but it's like no tooth hits another tooth. It's like two here,
so it just
one
like
here,
shapes your food into cubes.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I have to get. I need dentures.
This whole podcast production is all your tooth fund. We're trying to raise money for a tooth.
Teeth are expensive. I got a couple fickies. They are not cheap.
That is so true.
But yeah, I have also learned doing my Skid Row work to always ask before you give away an apple. I always say, are you able to eat apples? Because
Smart.
a lot of people, they'll be like, I have no teeth. My
Yeah.
teeth are like hanging on by a thread. I can't chew an apple.
There you go.
So just always check.
And they get swapped for sauce.
They
Because
get-
anybody can eat applesauce.
They get one loose handful of applesauce. I baby bird them
Oh,
applesauce.
that's nice. That's
Ugh.
nice.
All right. Well, so it's been a very exciting week for me. I don't know what banter you have. I, once again, have taken the kind-hearted advantage of one of our listeners, Nazi, who was in town, who once again invited me to Disneyland.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Of course, the invitation was extended to you. You made the
It
choice
was
to have children.
a weekday, short, yes, day
Yes,
off
it was
of.
a weekday. You decided to have kids, so you couldn't go. Alistair was like, I hate people. I don't want to go. Then the next day was like, you know what? It's my birthday. Maybe I will go. And then I was all mad because my car, I need 14 days to clean out my car if someone wants to ride with me. I had only cleaned out enough space for Nazi. Long story short, we borrowed your car. Alistair and I went to Disneyland. We had a great time. Another thank you to Nazi.
So generous.
So-
You got to do the Disney drawing class, which is something you always talk about Disneyland. And so
It's
few
my-
people know about this, I feel like.
Yeah, it's called, I think, the Art Academy or something. It's over in California Adventure. We didn't get around to it last time we went, and then we looked. There's a schedule throughout the day that'll tell you, it's like every 15 minutes or 30 minutes, and they have a schedule for the whole day that tells you what characters they're going to do every half hour. And a lot of times, I don't even know what the characters are. I'm not
Sure.
a Disney adult, but
It's like Stitch's dad or
yeah,
something.
it's like Stitch's father after he loses his mother. It's like, that's a little specific for me. The death of Nemo's mom, a lot of very heavy stuff. But we got there and I was like, hey, the first thing we do, can we just run over there and see what the schedule is? And like, oh, our next class is in 30 minutes and we're going to be drawing Vampire Mickey.
Unbelievable. It's like they knew you were coming.
I was like, are you? And then I looked after that and it was like the strong jaw guy from this princess. It was like a bunch of people that I could not have like cared about.
The timing could not have been better.
Oh my God. So I got to draw Vampire Mickey. I did pretty good. Maybe I'll send it to you. You can
Oh,
put
I'd
it in
love
your
to see it.
supplementals.
Yeah.
I stole some of the paper. You get a fun piece of paper. It looks like Disney like storyboard paper.
It says like Disney drawing class
Yeah, and it's
at
got the
top.
3 little holes that you peg it onto your board. And they
Cute.
really do a great job. Basically, it's like everyone's like, I don't want to do it. Even Nas was like, I can't do it. Mine sucks. Almost everyone's is good.
You said
And-
almost.
Well, we're not professional, but what I learned is like I would compare mine to her cousins. They would be right next to each other. It's like, his is so much better. But if you look at all of them individually, they're really good.
Yeah,
You just
sure.
don't compare them. Like, because some of them have a tiny head and some of them have a big, but they do that whole thing of like, they really in 15 minutes teach you how to draw, like how an artist does
Yeah.
it. Considering most people have never done it at all.
so cool. What
and
a
it's
fun
like a
thing to
free
do.
souvenir.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's funny to do it the first thing, and then you're carrying around this giant sheet of paper for 18 hours.
How did you do that? You always bring your own tube
I should always travel with rubber bands and a cardboard tube.
and an apple.
And one crispy apple.
Johnny Appleseed.
There you go.
There you go. Johnny
So-
Cardboard Tube.
Johnny Cardboard. Oh, and then Al had never written Rise of the Resistance, which is my favorite, definitely my favorite right there. I think even more than Pirates. It's a Star Wars ride, and it's incredible. It's unlike anything I've ever done. And I was like, that's the one thing. We're all pretty loosey-goosey, because she goes all the time. Al didn't care what we did. I don't really care what we do. But I was like, Al should experience that, because the last time Al and I went to Disneyland, this is the second
Do you
time.
only go to Disneyland with Al?
It's the second time we've gone together. It was still being built, so we couldn't even ride it. And I was like, you got to ride it. So it was the last thing we were going to do before the fireworks. And it was like a 75-minute wait. We kept
Crazy.
putting it off. And then they were like at 75 minutes. And I was like, you know what? Freak it. Let's just get in line. We got in line. And it actually only took about 40 minutes. We literally got you go through the line. You go through a building. You do this. You do that. You get on a spaceship. It flies you to where you need to be. The door. And then like Ray pops up to start talking. And then we couldn't hear her. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. Then the door opens. And they're like, you're right there. We're like just about to step in. I'm like, sorry, the ride shut down. And I was like, no. But everyone that had made it as far as we had in that little room, which was like 40 people, they gave fast passes to. Now, mind you, the park's only open for like another, mind you. Now, mind you, the park's only open for like another like hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's late at this point.
It's late.
Yeah.
It's like at the end of the day. And we kept checking and we kept checking. Rides closed. We went and saw the fireworks. When the fireworks ended, it was at like 9:45. Star Wars closes at 10. So we're in the and they're not close to each other. And so right when the fireworks ended, Naz looked on her thing and it was open. And we're like, let's go. Holy shit. I mean, we had to book it across the park. They're like so much faster than me. I'm huffing and puffing.
I gotta say, like, book it. I've never seen you book it. You booked it? You booked it? You weren't exactly chomping at the bit to join Jog Club.
I booked it. As much as I could book it. And we get there, and that fast pass literally took us exactly to where we had left off in line.
Amazing.
We were able to ride it. There was no one else that rode it in our little group. That's the second time that's happened to us. There's like usually 4 groups of people, and there was just our group of 3 of us.
Oh my God, that is so crazy that this happened to you more than once.
I know. And then he was just in awe. Nazi and I were both just watching him to see like how much he would like it.
He loved it. He had a great birthday. He had his "It's my birthday" pin.
He got the little button, so everyone wishes you a happy birthday.
That's cute. I think that should be standard to wear a pin that says "It's my birthday" on your birthday. Because then, like, everywhere you go, like the cashier at the grocery store is like, "Oh, happy birthday!" Like people you pass, "Happy birthday."
Yeah.
Is it so sad, like walking around the world on your birthday and you're like, no one even knows it's my birthday? No one even knows.
I don't care.
I'm getting you a pin.
As long as I get my free Starbucks and all my freebies. My favorite thing to do at Disney, and then I'll wrap that up, is Nazi has not seen Star Wars, and so we're in the whole Star Wars land.
How funny.
So anyone that I see wearing a Star Wars shirt, I'm like, can you believe she hasn't seen Star Wars?
Oh, do they love that?
And she hates it. She kept trying to think of something she could say about me to like, I was like, I don't care what you say about me. She'll come and tell him you're gay. And I'm like, everyone, I'm gay. It's like, I could care.
Well, he's gay.
He's gay, you know. No, she wasn't saying that in a bad way. She just couldn't think of anything to say. But yeah, we have a lot of fun. So
that's
thank
so
you, Naz.
fun.
Can't wait till you come back at Christmas. So apples.
Apples. Unreal.
Can't wait to chomp into this
Can't wait to chomp into this one.
I'm assuming there's going to be science. There's going to be, hey, Bill, have you noticed
Bill
how
Apple?
Bill Apple, everyone's apples are mushy. What can we do about that? He's like, Jeremy, I'm glad you asked me that. Why don't you come into my barn?
There's a rare foam that I have discovered.
There's a rare foam. Come into my barn. I'm renting out a little space to a guy named Bill Dyson, but if you come in the far back, I think that we can have a discussion that you'll enjoy.
I got a little apple project I'd like to run by you. Yeah, I love apples, so I was really excited to chomp into this story. To me, it is just like a year-round snack, and I was shocked to learn, and I will tell this early just because this was such a fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say pullover.
Pullover.
Maybe this is common knowledge. We know fruit is seasonal. The apples that you eat year round, all of them were grown in the fall. Apples are harvested in the fall.
All apples.
All apples.
That makes sense because I think those little cuties I like, I'm not talking about you, they're from like November to like February.
Sure.
Like everything has
a season. But
Yeah.
for some reason I thought like there's maybe a few varieties where it's like, oh, those harvested in the spring. But in general, all the apples you get on the grocery shelves are harvested in the fall, and they are kept in these like storage facilities that basically like pumps the nitrogen out and pushes in oxygen or whatever so that they stay fresh. So if you're eating an apple in July, that apple has been sitting in storage for like almost a year.
I mean, I feel like that's the same with like Hershey's. I think they make their Halloween candy in January. It's like everyone's just like...
Sure, but I think of those as being pretty shelf stable. I mean, you have an apple home and it's like 3 days later and it's starting to get a little sad. That's a year-old apple.
I don't know if this is going to be controversial, but this has just entered my brain. And you can debate this with me if you want. Anyone. I challenge anyone. Okay. If you want to call me, my number is 1-800-555-HOLLYWOOD. HWD Justin. Apples are the corn of fruit.
Mm.
because they're everywhere. It's like every shampoo, every grocery store shampoo that I buy or that I smell
is either scented like corn or apple.
Apple, period. It's like, it could be like, it's pomegranate, smells like apple. This apple. Every fruit roll up, main thing, apple.
Every fruit juice is apple.
Every
is number
fruit juice is
one.
90% apple, a splash of pomegranate. They're the corn of
And so
fruit.
you're saying like corn is it's in every cereal, it's in every snack,
corn
it's in every
syrup, corn.
Interesting.
They're those two things. Without those two, talk about time machine. Go back, chop down the first apple tree.
Oh my gosh.
And the first corn stalk. Yeah.
And both probably beloved by the hogs outside the factory.
And this hog, too.
These little piggies are chomping on both, honey.
Hogs aren't picky. I've seen them.
Oh, for sure. That's true.
All right.
So the story about Honeycrisp apples, which, as you know, you said it's your favorite variety. I asked Al. It's his number one, the only apple he goes from the grocery store. They are kind of expensive. It's my go-to variety also. The story of the Honeycrisp apple begins with a man named David Bedford, and he grew up in North Carolina, and this was at a time when the only apple you could get on the shelves was the Red Delicious. How do you feel about a Red Delicious?
I don't know enough about apples. It's kind of funny that this is coming up right now, because just yesterday I saw a video of one of those not Top Chef, Food Network chefs. She was at a grocery store going through all the apples, and I didn't know how. She's like, now this apple is only good for eating. She's like, if you try to cook with it, it's too mushy. This apple is tart, and it's good for these three things: salads, pie. Like, I didn't know every apple.
There are all these apple rules. Like, yes, for sure, that there's some apples that are better for baking because they hold up a little bit better to the heat. Otherwise, they just turn into like applesauce.
Same with onions. I think I just grab if something says get an onion, I grab an onion. But there's red, yellow, white. There's so many, and they all have
sweet.
Different,
sure. They all have different nuances.
Yeah.
Red Delicious apples get a lot of hate.
They seem basic.
They are basic, but like, and if you have, it's like with anything, you get a bad apple, you get a bad whatever kind of apple, it's not going to be good. I've had really good Red Delicious apples, so I'm like kind of like shocked that there's so much hate against them. Sure, the skin is thick. It's a bit waxy.
Oy.
Sure.
Now, you may argue...
Be a bit mealy.
You may argue with mealy. Is there anything worse than a mealy apple?
No, there's
anything on this planet. Now, you may argue with me here when I talk about Red Delicious apples. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Red Delicious apples are the carnations of apples.
Interesting, yes.
It's like everyone's
cheap,
like...
ubiquitous,
I have a flower. It's not the best flower.
Sure, but it's technically a flower.
Technically a flower.
So David Bedford, he's growing up and he always hates apples. He hates apples as a kid. And this is the time, as we said, Red Delicious is the nice big shiny apple that you could have year round. They are the result of the industrialization of the food system. So Red Delicious apples, they are the only apple you can find because they are easy to store. They don't bruise easily. The skin is really thick, so the apple stays on the shelf looking nice. The color is really good. It just becomes associated. When you think of an apple, you think of a Red Delicious. And that was the only apple that was really available at that time.
Here's what I'll say about that, though. There's something about, I've always had a problem with people that are like, oh my God, I'm the funniest guy in my office. I am so wacky. Calling yourself delicious is like, are you? Like, if you're delicious,
you don't have to tell us,
you
honey.
don't have to tell me you're delicious.
Just call yourself Red.
I'm a red apple.
And we'll decide what you are, baby.
Thank you.
That was the only apple at the time until Grady Auville, who was the founder of the Washington-based fruit company Auville Fruit, began importing Granny Smith apples from New Zealand to the United States in the 1970s. Granny Smith apples, that was the first time. It's green. Imagine the shock. You've only ever had Red Delicious. Now there's this bright green sour apple you're seeing out on the shelves. People are starting to think, oh, maybe like there's different kinds of apples. Maybe there could be different varieties, things that have different flavors, could be used for different things. Granny Smith apples, I think those are good in pies, right? Because they're tart and they
I think
hold
people
up
make pies or tarts with those. I definitely, if that's probably my second apple. I will
really?
I'll
sour.
Occasionally crave the tartness.
Gosh.
I just need a pucker. I just got to get that puckery apple. So I'll go get myself a granny.
That's as close as you can get to a pucker.
That's as close
pucker
as
up to a granny.
I thought you were going to say that's as close as you're going to get to a granny.
You have a restraining order against you from all grannies?
I just salivate whenever it was like, so this is my grandma. My lips start to pucker.
So now it's 1980, and David Bedford has joined the University of Minnesota's fruit breeding program, which is one of the oldest and most respected in the country. They have a 30-acre orchard, and at any time, the apple breeding program has 20,000 to 25,000 apple trees in various stages of evaluation.
Now, I don't know. I know a little bit about dog breeding. Do the apple trees
Yeah, the apple tree has a big, knobby, barky and it puts it inside. You know how like the holes in trees that owls will pop out of in cartoons? Those are real. And that's actually the horse's horse.
Horse.
That's actually the trees.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll bleep that out. There's kids listening. Minnesota's frigid winters demanded hardier apples than those that were grown in New York or Washington. So this was a perfect place to develop apple breeds that would withstand like extreme temperatures so they could survive below 30-degree Fahrenheit winters. So new apple varieties take 20 to 30 years to develop.
I believe it. It's like you got to wait for it to, just getting it to grow once is going to take a year or two.
This is what takes so long. So you are planting seedlings, you're waiting for them to grow, you are cross-pollinating hundreds of blossoms by hand, you're grafting seedlings onto other trees, you're waiting several years for those trees to grow and then bear fruit, and then you have to plant that seed. Cloning trees. It's just like, it all takes like, every step takes like 10 years.
It's crazy. You know who would have loved this is the previous owners of this home. Because we probably haven't shared this, but you have fruit trees at your house. You have like a cross-pollinated avocado tree that grows,
and an orange tree.
Half of the avocado tree grows one type of avocado, the other half grows another. Same with the oranges.
I have a picture of it. It's so cool. This orange tree, it's half navel and half, I think, Valencia. And there was one orange one year when we first moved here that was, the orange itself was half one color and half another.
Whoa.
I have a picture of it. It was so cool. It was like exactly split down the middle. I'll share a picture of that. So this is years and years of tasting apples. Anything that doesn't pass the test gets discarded. It's, of all the apples, it's less than half of 1% actually like make it to be like a viable apple that you could eat.
I'm curious if they have like, when they're pollinating them, I'm assuming if I were to go about this, let's say you've got apple tree A, apple tree B. So you want to combine those two to see what that makes. But you would go in that first go around, you would take like, whatever, 9 points from A, 1 point from B, 8 points from A, 1, like, and so you can do a big variety. Because like if you just did one and then like after a year you're like, chomp, I need to try something else.
Exactly. So you're constantly experimenting with different parents. It's like that you talk about the lineage. They have genealogy, these apples. So because of the different varieties, there's like a mommy and a daddy apple that make a new variety of apple. Daddy apple.
I'll have what he's having.
It's an apple.
It's a apple. And we've learned that it's not that sweet, and the seeds are really big.
It's filled with worms.
I said a daddy apple.
Have you ever bitten into an apple and a little worm comes out?
No, but I've bitten into what was it? A candy bar that was full of worms.
Oh my God.
We were on a road trip with
Talk about Halloween.
Oh my God. It scarred me. It was a Baby Ruth. It was a Baby Ruth.
Oh, peanut worms.
We went peanut worms. We were on like a road trip when I was young, and we stopped at like a tiny little, in the woods convenient gas store, and they just had, from the way I remember it, a barrel of candy bars, and my dad was like, everyone can pick a candy bar.
Loose candy bars, no wrapper?
It was actually the toilet, and it was a poop. No, and I picked the Baby Ruth, and we're in the car, and I'm like, dee, 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 and I opened it and took a bite, and there was like maggots or worms.
So do you think that contamination happened post-factory? Because I feel like, imagine now, I feel like if that happened, you would be on the news.
Yeah.
Like you post a video of that, you go viral, and now they're issuing a statement to you. They're offering you like $1 million settlement. Like you're on like KTLA Morning News talking about how traumatized you are.
Yeah, you'd put it on TikTok. They'd reach out to you. If we wanted to be on the news back then, we would have to like write copyright, take it to the local news station.
Imagine how many people bit into things that had worms in them at that time, and they're like, well, no one will ever know.
Yeah, I don't think I ate Baby Ruths for quite a while, but I eventually got back to them.
Baby Ruths is peanuts and caramel, right?
It's like a mismatch. Yeah, I think there's a nougat, there's a caramel.
Oh, okay. It's nougat rolled in caramely peanuts.
I feel like it looks lumpy.
Imagine that, but all connectors instead of peanuts. It'd be so crunchy.
A daddy apple and an all connector Baby Ruth. Daddy apple merch.
So the Honeycrisp story begins in 1960 when researchers were cross-pollinating two apple varieties, keepsake type of apple, and an unknown parent. Ooh, a mysterious who's the daddy? We don't know who the daddy is. They think it was maybe a descendant of the honey gold to make MN1711. So that's 1960.
1960?
David Bedford, he took over this division in 1982. So this is from 1960 to 1982. David Bedford, he's evaluating old test plots. So they have they're constantly tasting an apple is bad, they rip out the tree. So that happens just constantly. He's evaluating old test plots when he saw a tree, MN1911, that had failed a winter hardiness test. And it was designated for the compost heap. So if it's bad, if it's a tree that's going to go, they spray paint it orange on the trunk. So this was a tree that was set to be trashed and it had apples on it. He goes, I'm going to taste that apple. Maybe I'll give that apple a taste. I'm a little hungry. Grabs an apple, gives it a try.
Best thing he's ever tasted.
It was unlike anything he had ever had before. I hope you're pulled over because this blew my mind. If he had not, this tree was literally set to go. It was like going in the dumpster. And he was like, wait. Let me give it a try. I've never tasted that apple.
Why was it going in the dumpster if he had never tasted it?
It had failed a winter hardiness test, so it didn't look like it would be durable enough. So that's what we'll learn about Honeycrisp. It is the most fragile, divalicious apple, but the taste is so good that doesn't matter. But at the time, they're kind of they have a certain standard of what apples are even worth it to produce. They have to have a certain level of hardiness. But he's like, give it a taste. The taste was so good that he couldn't even believe his mouth. He started. It took him days or weeks. This is what he says. He says,
I don't believe you.
He says, I remember, it caused me some question. I remember biting it and thinking, what is going on here? He describes picking up textural and flavor notes similar to Asian pears and watermelons, trying to decide if the fruit was underripe or overripe. He says, I don't know if it was a moment or a day or a week that it took me to decide. I don't know what it is, but it is good.
Can you imagine being the first person to taste a Honeycrisp apple?
Time machine.
Wait, no, that's for merch.
Oh, yeah.
Time machine. Ooh.
Ooh.
I don't know if I'd take it to go get. Maybe
that
after
first
the Big
tree.
Mac. Big Mac first, then
because you're
then garbage apple.
Time travel hamburger man.
Yeah, time travel hamburger man. Time travel apple boy.
Okay, sure. So this apple is different than anything he had ever tasted, and he had to share the news with his team. So what makes the Honeycrisp apple different? Physically, it is different cellularly than any other apple. It has a very thin skin, and the crispness is the result of having it much larger cell structures than other apples. So apple cells contain something called vacuoles, and they're filled with juice. And the cells are stacked up on top of each other, held together by something called lamella, which is the glue that gives apple its firm, crunchy texture. So when you bite into an apple, your teeth cut through this razor-thin skin and crush through these supersized cells that are filled with juice that creates an explosion of sweet juice in your mouth.
Okay, Daddy.
And it's these oversized cells that give it unique texture and flavor that is different than any other apple on the scene at the time.
So you're getting more tongue wash from the extra juice. You have that satisfying pierce of a appropriately thin skin. Thin skin little apple. Okay, I'm getting it.
So he works together with Dr. Jim Luby, who is the former director. Luby and his Apple Boys.
Luby, could I see you back here? He's always giggling every time he makes...
I'm experiencing a little bit of friction with my apples. Do you mind giving it the old Luby touch?
Luby, have you seen Daddy Apple? What's happening at the orchard?
They're having a gay old time. The former director of the University of Minnesota's fruit breeding program, and Bedford worked on further improving the hardiness, the texture, the flavor of the apple. He placed it in the university's evaluation program and observed it under different conditions until they thought it was good enough to release to the public in 1991. So this is still 82 when he tasted the apple for the first time. This is almost 10 years later that it's ready for market.
At the same time that anyone could have been watching Twin Peaks, they could also get a Honeycrisp apple.
They're opening their newspaper to see the circular grocery store ads and saying, Honeycrisp.
Honeycrisp. David Lynch, what are you up to? Those aren't related.
They think it was a collab?
Maybe. Sorry, Angela.
Sorry, dude. So they said we had convinced ourselves on the breeding team that this is good, but we really had no idea what the rest of the world was thinking. The Honeycrisp apple is released to the public in 1991, and it wasn't an instant success, but not because it wasn't good. Growers were very skeptical.
They always are.
The skeptical growers. What's that about?
We don't like change. We are creatures of habit.
That's so true. It's notoriously finicky to cultivate. It bruises easily and produces uneven crops. But as soon as people tasted it, they were obsessed.
It's worth it.
So you could call this like the end of the era of the Red Delicious. Once people have a taste of the Honeycrisp apple, there's no going back. They're willing to pay $4 a pound, which is unheard of at that time. There was a time, like farmers never even imagined that people would fork over that much cash for an apple. Something that was just thought of as like, it's a carrot. It's like you're not like eating it like, Oh, it's so good. And you know what farmers started to call it? Honeycrisp.
Oh, okay. That's what it all comes down to.
Mm-hmm. From the early 2000s, the Honeycrisp had gone from this university experiment to agricultural gold rush. Now farmers in Washington, New York, Michigan, and beyond, they're tearing out older trees. They're planting Honeycrisps. But even at that point, you plant a Honeycrisp tree. Okay, time's ticking. We'll see you in 3 years. It's like everything takes so long because they're plants that need to grow. But these are some of the apple's quirks. It could be sensitive to the weather. It has an uneven color, inconsistent yields. Many growers were reporting that the Honeycrisp was as temperamental as it was profitable. Here is what can go wrong. It's an absolute diva. First off, her skin is so thin that she's easily punctured by her own stem.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. That tiny little stem?
I mean, you have to pick them by hand because they're so fragile. They can't be like shaken loose like some other
Have they changed over time? Because I don't feel like they're this. I feel like they've been refined.
Possibly. To get the red-pink hue, workers lay out sheets of reflective material, and the material reflects the sunlight upward into the tree canopy, increasing the light exposure to the apples and helping them develop their signature red-pink hue. The thin skin makes them more likely to get sunburned. And even the best apple isn't safe from bitter pit.
Wow.
Haven't we all had bitter pit at one time or another?
What happens when an apple gets sunburned? It just actually like burns through the skin?
Yeah, it makes it like mealy and changes the texture. So bitter pit, yeah, it makes the skin black with splotches and ruins the flesh. And that can even happen when it's in storage. So they have to grow the apples without any of these ailments that they can have. They have to store them for the entire year. So even in January, if 9 out of 10 survive storage, by summer, it's 7 out of 10. So you're losing 30% of your apple crop that you were able to miraculously get off the tree in one piece.
I didn't know they were so precious.
They're such divas, yeah.
No wonder I love them.
That's true. You do have a lot in common with the Honeycrisp.
They're the Chapel Rowans of apples.
That's true.
A little splashy, but sensitive.
So breeders, they're especially desperate to create an apple with the flavor of a Honeycrisp, but that is easier to grow. So Kate Evans is a breeder in Washington State, and she developed the Cosmic Crisp, which you mentioned, which she's been working on for 2 decades. It is a love child of the Honeycrisp and an enterprise. So it's similar to its parents in flavor, but it is more resilient. It stays fresh longer in storage, but they only come from Washington. So they're exclusively grown in Washington State due to an exclusive 10-year license for growing apples in North America. They were developed by Washington State University specifically for the Washington climate and soil conditions. So the university holds the patent for the variety, and the licensee agreements restrict growing rights to Washington growers for this period. So there will be a time where that licensing will expire and then anybody can grow a Cosmic Crisp. But right now, when you get a Cosmic Crisp, it comes from Washington.
And I feel like I read something about Cosmic Crisp. Like there was a whole thing about that.
They had a really big marketing push. Is that what you're talking about?
They thought it was going to be the biggest thing. Like it would crush Honeycrisp apples.
Yeah, they did a huge. They spent a lot of money on their marketing push, which is funny to think like marketing an apple, but it's a business like anything else. They fought for shelf space. They were delivering them to grocery stores like at a discounted price so that they could just like people would be more inclined to try them and maybe be converted from Honeycrisp. And now it's grown 800% and it has cracked the top 10 in a very short amount of time. There are still very loyal Honeycrisp fans, and the Honeycrisp fans have noticed something in the past 10 or 15 years that Honeycrisp apples are not as good as they used to be. And if you look this up on Reddit, you Google, are Honeycrisp apples as good as they used to be? There's a lot of people remembering the first time they had a Honeycrisp, and it was like the size of a softball. It was so explosive. The crunch was so like ear-shatteringly loud.
Yeah.
And they'll say, I've had 3 different Honeycrisps from different grocery stores, and it's just not, they're like mealy. They lost that crunch. They lost that snap. There's some conversation that maybe to make them more resilient that they have kind of evolved. Or maybe that the thin skin we're talking about, the skin might have been getting thicker over the years as just, it's a living product. It's an evolving plant. So it's not going to be the same as it was originally, at the university testing ground. I don't know. I'm curious what people think if they think Honeycrisps have lost their quality.
Well, and I don't feel like food growers are ones to sit on their laurels. I feel like they're always kind of experimenting. And this is just me assuming this.
Sure.
But like they're not like, okay, we've made a great Honeycrisp. We will just use these seeds over and over for 15 years.
Yeah.
Like they're always like,
it's kind of like burpee.
Dare I say it? And maybe there'll be some pushback. Feel free to reach out to me, 1-800-HOLLYWOOD-JUSTIN. I would say that apple breeders are the George Lucases of breeders.
Oh.
Always tinkering. Like they make a great product.
Pushing the envelope.
Everyone
never
loves
satisfied.
it. Never satisfied. So they're like, I can always make this a little bit better. More of what my vision is.
Sure.
The technology wasn't available in 1991. Now it is. Here's the apple I always envisioned. Everyone's like, boo, boo. Han shot first.
It's also similar to other brands we've talked about where overproduction or climate expansion. So if they're starting to grow them in warmer regions than they were grown originally, like 15 years ago, that they taste a little bit different. There's just so many variables with something like how much rain there was this year, how the weather was. Was it slightly warmer? Was it slightly cooler? There's so many variables. I don't think you could ever expect an apple, especially an apple if you're tasting it in July, a year-old apple, to taste like an amazing apple at the peak perfect conditions of harvest in August.
Off the tree.
Right off the tree.
Now, I may get a little pushback from this, but dare I say this? And if you want to fight me on this, feel free to call me, 1-800-HOLLYWOOD-JUSTIN.
The number is at the bottom of the screen.
My number is at the bottom of the screen. I would say, like people, old apples are not hot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The older they get, the less they're just a little less juicy.
Sure.
A little less creamy.
Aren't we all a little less juicy than we once were?
Saggy skin. There's a lot of parallels in this episode.
There really is. There really is, if you may.
If I may, if I could be so bold.
And David Bedford, he himself says that the original Minnesota-grown Honeycrisp still tastes the best. He says it's what we intended, the perfect mix of crunch and juice. So, yes, there was the original Honeycrisp produced, and the patent was owned by the University of Minnesota. Their patent expired in 2008, but they still continue to profit from the licensing of the name Honeycrisp, and the licensing that produces royalties for the school. So they actually have made over $14 million from the licensing of the Honeycrisp name.
I'm surprised. I would think it would be even more than that.
Yeah.
Once you start licensing, though, if Shark Tank has taught us anything,
Sure.
It's like once that license is out, unless you're really, involved in making sure that your product is...
Could anybody slap a Honeycrisp name?
They just may not have the quality control. That could be part of the issue too.
It's so true. Yeah, it's like In-N-Out Burger staying small so that they can oversee operations more. Because why wouldn't you want to just expand and be in every city? It's like, well, then you don't have eyes as much as what's going on, and you could lose quality.
It's like when you get there recently has been some collabs, about Little Debbie's ice cream flavors.
Sure.
This is the oatmeal cream pie ice cream, and it's got the branding, it's got Little Debbie on it, but it doesn't taste like the oatmeal cream pie.
It's exactly the same.
It's the same thing.
It's the same.
What's in a name? Not much, apparently.
Wow.
Hi, I'm Hollywood Justin. Welcome to Straight Talk, Gay Talk? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Daddy Apple.
I would love to visit the University of Minnesota's apple orchard. I think that would be really fun.
I would love to pick. I will never forget. When I moved to LA, I stayed with some friends of friends, and they had an orange tree, and I moved here in January. And it was January here is, you have warm days. Every January I have this nostalgic feeling because there's these days that feel just like it did when I moved here. And the first time I picked an orange off of a tree and just ate it, and it was sun-kissed and warm
from the sun.
I have never had I've been chasing that high for my whole life. It was the most incredible piece of fruit. So I could see, for all the reasons that you're saying, the longevity of fruit, eating something from 9 months ago, it may not have that sparkle of what people were eating back in the day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I've never had a grocery store orange as good as that tree orange.
We're really lucky here living in LA because we do have so much yummy backyard fruit.
Yeah.
But not apple trees. I don't know anybody who has an apple tree. We have a lot of citrus.
Midwest.
Midwest.
I had them in Ohio. We had crab apples and apple trees.
I want a box of crab apples from your home.
You don't want... We just had fights with them and walnuts. We just threw them at each other. I don't think we ever ate a crab apple. They're cute, though.
Well, the University of Minnesota's program has created 27 commercial varieties of apple, but the Honeycrisp is its crown jewel. And in 2006, a bunch of elementary school children made letters that it would be named the official state fruit. So it is Honeycrisp Apples, the official state fruit of Minnesota.
Nice.
As for David Bedford, this is a peek into his life in the fall. From August to October, he tastes around 500 apples a day.
What?
He has done many a local news interview, and I will post these videos on Instagram. He's in a flannel shirt. He's stomping through the orchard. He is chomping a bite out of an apple. He's chewing it. He's going, and he spits it out. He takes another bite of another one. He goes, that one's okay, but no, he spits it out. He is literally chomping 500 apples a day in search of the next 1 in 10,000 apple that's going to change the world and become a star. He says,
now, dare I say it, and I may get some pushback from this, and if you want to comment, please give me a call. Numbers on the screen. I'll adjust it. I would say that David Bedford is the Yukon Cornelius of apples.
Who's Yukon Cornelius?
Isn't that his name? The old bearded guy from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer who had the pick, and he would stick the pick in the ice and then lick it and be like, nothing.
I think that's a fair comparison.
That one's a little more convoluted, but I just wanted to keep the bit going, and that's all.
And if anybody has any issue, feel free to reach out.
Feel free to reach out. 1-800-HOLLYWOOD.
Our phone lines are open 24 hours a day. I would love for you just to have a landline in your house that's anybody who can call you at any time of day. I feel like you'd like that.
I will, only if it has like several lines that can be flashing.
You can go, please hold.
Please hold. Hollywood Justin, please hold. So he is the apple daddy.
Yes, he is the apple daddy.
Is he hot? That's what everyone's. It doesn't matter what we say. Everyone's going to be like, was he hot?
He looks like you'd think.
I thought you were going to say he looks like you.
He looks like he's kind of scruffy. He's
older?
Maybe like a hippie. Yeah, he's a little bit older.
Okay, so there's your
I'll
answer.
have to find a picture of him like at 27.
Yeah.
I'll have to call his mom asking him for his college yearbook photo to see how hot he was at his peak.
This is really important. I just need one photo. Is it for the news? No, we just have to know if he's hot or not.
We just have to know if he's hot. He says there's good and bad with every job. The first couple hundred of apples are fun. After that, it becomes real work. By the time you hit 500, your mouth is on fire and you're happy to take a break.
He's doing this every day?
Every day.
I feel
from
like
August through October.
500 a month, I feel like, is enough.
You should watch him mow through this place. It's crazy. And so at the end of the season, he takes 3-month detox from eating apples. So he eats no apples from November for 3 months. And after he's done eating apples, to recover his mouth, he has milk with baking soda to soothe his tongue.
Every day. That's like his nightly ritual.
Yeah. Every day, yeah. And you can thank him. He developed Honeycrisp. He also developed First Kiss apples and Sweet Tango apples, which I am familiar with, and I think they're also very good.
I do like that I do feel like Trader Joe's is always throwing out some new apple at us.
Yeah.
We've had like apples that now have pink flesh, red flesh. They have tiny little apples. Now they're always doing teeny tiny little lists and that.
I like those. My mom always gets those rocket apples, which they're like the size of like a clementine.
I like
really
the
fun.
size. They're not my favorite flesh.
I have Honeycrisp apples for us to try.
Oh, okay, great.
Hold for apples.
Every podcast wants to have a crunchy taste test.
Some people pay extra for that.
Now this, I gotta say, this looks like a pretty paltry Honeycrisp. The ones I get, because Honeycrisp at Trader Joe's are they're not by the pound, they're by the apple.
That was what I was thinking. These are from Trader Joe's also. This is so tiny. And this is part of too, where it's like people are like, are Honeycrisp apples different? It must just be part of licensing. Because when I think of a Honeycrisp apple, it is the size of a softball and the flesh is almost like dimpled. It's almost like the flesh is like bursting out of the skin. It almost like has like cellulite. You know what I mean? It's like kind of like, it's not perfectly smooth. So I don't know. We'll see. This might be some like what people complain about with Honeycrisp, where they're like, what is this tiny little
This seems way too small.
Let's see if we can get one good crunch. Oh, I smell it. It does have a nice, sweet, pleasant smell.
That's me.
You smell like an apple.
Are we going to try to crunch at the same time?
Sure. Give it a sniff.
If you're into it smells like cold apple. Doesn't have a huge sip. No, that's not a chomp. This is a chomp.
This does not taste like a Honeycrisp apple. The skin tastes thicker. It doesn't have that like shard. You know, a Honeycrisp apple that like it feels like they used to like it would shard off in your mouth. This tastes like a Fuji.
Mine is a little mealy, but it's super juicy, and I like the flavor.
It's quite juicy and it has good flavor, but I think I have to agree that they've overexpanded and they've evolved away from the thing that made them so. I think it's like McDonald's. I think it is Time Travel Hamburger Man. That like it wasn't overnight that the McDonald's hamburger changed.
No.
I think it was like very, very gradually. It was like, yeah, I had the hamburger tasted a little different. It's like, oh man, they used to be so good. I think it's very similar to Time Travel Hamburger Man.
Yeah, this is good. This isn't toe curling, but it's good.
Your toes aren't curled.
My toes aren't curled.
Your toes are flat as a pancake.
Yeah, they're like, make me curl.
Well, I still will be forever chasing the juice of a Honeycrisp apple, that shard. And maybe you just have to, maybe this is a note, you have to get the big fatty softballs if you want to get that like supersized crunch.
I feel like every time I've gone to Trader Joe's, they're twice this big. And
Yeah.
they're $1.79 an apple. They're expensive.
They are expensive, but worth it.
But they're really big and beautiful. I do love the coloring. I did not know that there was some special thing they do on the ground to try to get that lighter part maybe. I don't know what they're doing down there, but...
So the red part is from the UV rays. So they reflect back the UV rays and like up at the bottom of the tree so that they will.
It's beautiful.
It's
This is like, if I was a painter, like this is what I would consider a fun still life piece of fruit to try to paint this.
For frequent Brantra, that's what Jon wants, a still life of a Honeycrisp apple.
No, I want to be able to paint it. Here's my thing about painting. I've been meaning to bring this up, and this seems like just as good enough of a time as any.
Sure.
Why do painters always tell you how long they have spent on it?
They do?
They're always like, "Oh, I spent 200 hours in on
Who's
this."
saying that? Van Gogh?
No, like modern day painters on TikTok. They always tell you, and same with like couture dressmakers.
Oh, really?
They're like, this is we spent 1,000 hours on this.
It's
Like,
probably to justify the price. Like, so if
Maybe.
you have a painting that you say $500, you go, oh, well, that's like too much for a painting. But it's like, oh, no, this was 200 hours.
do I need to start doing that with the pod? Like, this was a 14-hour research job.
I think it would make, and then it's choose your own pricing. People can pay us what they think is fair, a living wage based on our hourly rate.
I do like an idea, a Patreon tier where they have to pay per hour of research. $3 per
Your
hour.
episodes will be getting quite long.
I know.
So that's it for Honeycrisp apples. So knowing everything we know, the journey of the apple that almost wasn't, had he just thrown them in the dumpster, we wouldn't have this delicious, gorgeous apple we have in front of us today. What do you think? Are they on brand for you?
I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer. This is a hard-on brand for me. It's my go-to apple. I always have one in my backpack. Like to take them. I'll always grab a couple anytime I fly. I like to have them in my bag. You never know when you're going to want an apple, and these are a nice thing to have flavor-wise usually. Even this one, which is probably not the best one, is still a delicious,
It's still
enjoyable
great. And it's a fruit
apple.
that comes with its own wrapper, like a banana, except it's durable.
I hope this came in a bag, though. If this was $1.79, I'd be mad.
No, it was a box of 4.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, definitely hard on brand for me. It's a beautiful apple. I love that we have to give props. I mean, we complain about, like, everything's modified and we're just let things grow. But you look at those pictures back in the day, if we let watermelons do what watermelons wanted to do, it's like 90% rind.
Exactly.
Like, we have to do this stuff to have these delicious things. So, hats off to Apple Daddy, to Dave, I'm trying to remember all the names, the woman, Tracy, I think, or whoever it was. Good for you,
The
people.
whole team.
The whole team.
Apple's Apple Squad.
Thank God there's a man willing to try 500 apples a day. Do you know how many that is? I can't do the math. That's, I think, 1.4 million apples that he eats during those 3 months that we don't have to do that.
We don't have to do. We just
for
get
us
to
have
reap the benefits.
This shitty apple.
And then still, you imagine like you're in the store and you're like, $1.50 for an apple? That's a little high. It's like, do you know how much work went into this apple? Like literally 30 years.
That's like, God, it really, I think I've already talked about that comedian I've seen recently who's talking about like sending, like how insane it is sending a letter.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, what, just the whole process of like going into a post office and being like, can you take this to my friend in Alaska? Like, yeah, but I'm going to need 74 cents to do it.
Yeah, we've talked about, it's unbelievable that any mail makes it to its destination.
Yeah.
It's
So,
absolutely crazy.
Hats off, guys. Love it. Fun topic. Out of the box brand. 100% all around.
Great. Hard on. I'm
Hard
going
on
to join
today.
you with a hard on. I was really happy when Trader Joe's had their Honeycrisp apple season. You know how they always like pick like something to feature? So Honeycrisp apples it might even still be like they have a Honeycrisp apple candle. They have Honeycrisp apple granola that's really good. It has like dried apple pieces in it. They have a Honeycrisp yogurt that's good. It has little
They don't
pieces
hit
of...
as hard with the Honeycrisp as they do with some of their other things like mango.
Yeah.
But they do, that candle smells good.
The candle smells really good. They had a lot of Honeycrisp stuff. And it's just one of those things. Great name. Honeycrisp.
It's
fantastic
like
name.
sticky and crunchy.
Exactly.
Ugh.
It's so evocative.
Like having
and
sex with a hippie.
Honeycrisp.
Honeycrisp. Sticky and crunchy.
That's your boyfriend, Honeycrisp.
Honeycrisp.
I'm proud of David for sticking with it. And I mean, having the courage to speak up. Imagine at work, everybody's like, yeah, we're throwing that tree out because the apples are bad. They suck. It's like, you're going to try it. You have to go to your boss and go like, I think we should give it another chance.
That's true.
Wow. You might get fired over that.
Yeah.
But now he's the king of the apple.
And I may be going out on a limb here, and definitely call me if you feel like that this is inaccurate.
Please do.
1-800-HOLLYWOOD-JUSTIN.
Operators are standing by.
Operator standing by, phone number at the bottom of the screen. But I would dare say that Dave,
as we call him,
as we know him in the Apple industry, is the Johnny Appleseed of our time.
Oh, yes.
Wouldn't you agree?
I wouldn't dare argue with you on that.
I don't know two men more dedicated, more singularly dedicated to a single fruit than Johnny and Dave. And there is your Netflix series. Johnny and Dave.
I'm all in.
Episode 3. Did you see episode 3, Pickin'?
of Johnny and Dave.
Johnny and Dave.
Oh
it's
my
just
God.
called Pickin'.
When I saw graphic violence and nudity, I knew I was in for a good time. Johnny and Dave really go at it.
Rated R.
I mean, the sexual tension was just building. I didn't know they would it would climax at episode 3. I thought they would draw it out a little bit.
Mature audiences
only.
I love it. There's your movie. All right. Well, beautiful job. Love it. Thank you so much for sharing
Thank you so much for listening.
All right. Well, before we go, of course, what would any episode of On Brand be without finding out who our freaks of the week are? And how do you become a Freak of the Week, you're wondering? Well, every Wednesday on our Instagram story, I post what I like to call an Insta Egg. What is an Insta Egg, you ask? It is a puzzle. If you can solve that puzzle, you're going to find out what our brand is going to be that week. If you send me the answer, I'm going to send you a little freak badge that lets you know that you got it right, and I'm going to add your name to our Wheel of Freaks. And every week I spin that wheel 5, 6, 7, 8 times, however many times I feel like it. Usually it's only supposed to be 5, but sometimes I forget. Like yesterday I did 5 and then I just did 1 and then I have another one. So I never know exactly how much it's going to be, but that's how you become Freak of the Week. And the following people have gone through all of those steps and are Freaks of the Week this week. Robert Mahoney III, our most sophisticated listener, Jeff Byrne, Anna Botts, Ashley Falls Eckerd, and then Karen McElfresh, and then Dingle Schmingle.
Dingle Schmingle.
Who I wrote, sometimes if you make Freak of the Week, I write you and say, hey, do you want me to give your shout out? Do you want it to be Dingle Schmingle or do you want it to be something else? And Dingle Schmingle wrote me and was like, oh my God, LOL. When I first did this, I was like, what would be a funny thing to make Jon say if I became Freak of the Week? I thought that I would do Dingle Schmingle. But now, after thinking about it, maybe I'd rather just have my real name, Avery Ring. So congratulations, Avery Ring. Dingle Schmingle. We appreciate you playing it. And an extra special shout out to Allie Lorraine. It is your birthday on November 12th. We appreciate you listening from the very beginning. Happy birthday to you. Thank you for being a freak. Thank you guys all for playing. And along with our Insta Egg, just check out our Instagram all the time. We're always posting new stuff. We put supplemental materials on there so you can find out more about the stuff we talk about on the show. You'll be able to find out if the founders are hot and all the other things that we talk about. So check out our Instagram.
While we're giving shout outs, I'd like to shout out a lovely listener who left us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We have Don from NM, New Mexico?
Yeah.
New Mexico. Don from New Mexico. He says, what a delight. I love this show so much. Jon and Marisa are so funny, and I love getting to feel a little smarter after each episode. I found them through the podcast The Ride, and it just proves that good people know good people. Keep up the great work. That was a very fun episode, Podcast The Ride. If you haven't listened to that yet, me and Jon did a VR Titanic experience.
The only time that I think any humans were able to experience the Titanic from an abandoned Uniqlo store.
Do you think James Cameron has done the Titanic experience in the abandoned Uniqlo?
Absolutely. I would love it if we walked in there and he's just in the middle of the room like, whoa, this looks so much worse than my movie. Oh my God.
Thank you so much for that review. If you haven't left us a review on Apple Podcasts, please do so. They've really slowed down coming in. Some people, you're just hitting the 5-star button. That helps too, but jot down a few words. Would
what
it
makes
kill
you laugh? Like, what is it that you like about us? We feast on that.
We feast on that. We have
crossed the 400 mark. I'd love to get to 500 by Christmas.
We're at 401 ratings.
We
need you and your 98 closest friends
to do that before. That's all I want for Christmas. And an embroidered canvas Trader Joe's mini tote.
And I was going to say your 2 front teeth, but your 2 side teeth.
My 2 side teeth.
All I want for Christmas is my 2 side teeth.
My 2 side teeth. And maybe Luigi's Haunted Mansion. Oh, and Mario Wonder. Man,
Have you played your Switch yet?
No, but I need to make, speaking of Switch, I need to make my Christmas list. There you go.
He came. That's you Christmas morning when you see your stocking.
He came.
He came.
That really cracked me up. And you know what? If you're wondering what we look like and you've never checked out our YouTube, another way that you could help us is to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can watch everything that we just said live.
You can watch see us eat an apple.
You can see us eat an apple. You can watch me sweat more and more over the course of an hour. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well.
And Jon said you can check out our Instagram at OnBrandThePod, TikTok at OnBrandThePodcast. You can play Jon's Insta Egg game. You can see supplementals. You can see all that fun stuff there. Chat with Jon on Instagram. He's laying in bed awaiting your messages 24 hours a day.
I really do chat. I mean, people really, someone yesterday, like I wrote back to them like, thank you, On Brand intern. And I was like,
honey, it's us. If you're watching on YouTube, you see we are in a living room. And with that, we'll be back next week with an all new episode.
And remember, we may go off topic. We may talk about apple daddies. We may find comparisons to other things, but we will always be on brand.
Bye.
Bye.